This is your grade 10 IT meeting, and we are going to work on Delphi. Okay, please ensure that you have downloaded the project for today. It is called Project Subjects. Okay, so last time we started working on Delphi, and we learned about edits and buttons and labels. Do you all remember that? Okay, so let me just minimize our cameras here. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a step further, because in the past when we used to code and we wanted to work with the an edit, we would say edtname.text and then assign that. Okay, but now I'm going to teach you about variables. So everyone, please double click on the display button. Okay, so what we have here is button display, and I want, if I look at my design again, you are going to have the user needs to enter the name, the surname, the grade using a spin edit, and the subject. This, when I click on button display, I want it to go and display in my rich edit. Okay, so to code this, I now need to first go and set up my variables. So variable takes the place of, instead of each time hard coding every single component, you okay there? Okay. If you've got a question, I'm going to put the chat function on. Okay, you are welcome to put a question in the chat function for me. Let me just start it on this side so I can see it clearly. Okay. So because we are running over 2 classes. Okay, so a variable is an easier way of coding where I assign values to a name. Okay, then instead of typing out edtname.text every time that I want that information or that data, I'm going to use my variable. So the first variable I'm going to create here is sname, because I'm asking the user's name. So on your program, you can go and type in sname. Then, as long as it is the same type, remember we have strings. Now, a string can be a character, it can be a letter, it can be a symbol. Anything that I want to display is a string. Okay. If I'm doing calculations, then I make it an integer. So numbers can be, if I'm displaying a number, it will become a string. Okay, so the first one is sname. Now, because it's the same type, I'm just going to say comma, s surname. Okay, then the other one that I have is s subject. Those are all of type strings. So you're not going to use the assign, which is the colon equals. You're just going to use a colon here and type the word string. And you will see it will highlight because it is a designated Delphi word. Okay, the other part that we want is I grade. So I want to know what grade the user is in. And that is going to be of type integer. And don't forget your semicolon at the end. Okay. So let us see here. So now, when in the old way, you would have displayed, gone red output dot lines dot add, and inside that I would have said edtnames.text. But now we're going to use our variables. So I say sname. Now, what do I want assigned to sname? I want my whatever's entered into this field, into the edt name, I want it to be written to sname. So it's going to be edt name dot, and the type it is here is dot text. That's the method. And you'll see as you start typing, it gives you options, and you can just double click on it when you see it. Okay. So that's my first part. I've now assigned whatever the user writes into EDT name is going to be assigned to S name. Okay. Now I want their surname. Okay. And it was written in the edit surname component, so EDT surname. And again, it's .text. Okay. Just check your spelling. As soon as it doesn't recognize it, you will get a red squiggle. There we go. Whoops, what have I done wrong? His surname. Let me just go and look at my design. Do you see there? Please go and change, go to your design, and you'll see the EDT surname component. I've just named surname. So scroll down to name in the object inspector. Where is it? There we go. And do you see there, it just says surname? Please change it for me to EDT surname. EDT surname. There we go. Okay, so if I go back to my code now, you will see that the red squiggles has disappeared because it now acknowledges the component name that I've given it. Okay. The next one that I'm now going to declare is my spin edit. That is the grade. So I've got I grade. Now this one is a little different than the edit. It's going to be said grade dot. Now it's not text, it is a value that I'm going to be using. Dot value. And the last one is going to be S subject. And I've taken S EDT subject dot text. Okay. So now what I've done is I have assigned each EDT, each edit to a variable. Okay. So now the next part is I want to actually display what I've done. Okay. So to display a rich edit, it would be my output, my rich edit dot lines dot add. So I've called my rich edit red output. So dot lines dot add. So add the following lines that I have now assigned to it. You open a bracket, and because it's going to be a string, remember you have to use single quotes. Okay, so you open your first single quote, and I'm going to enter the word name, colon, and a space, and then close my single quote. That's my string. Now I'm going to, where's my colon? Okay, and then I'm going to say plus, and I'm going to add S name, the variable. Now, this little sentence here that you see, when I take two parts and put them together, we call it concatenate. When you add things together, it becomes, you use a plus, it's called concatenate. You are building a string in that way. Okay. So then we go to the next line. What I want to display the surname. So you can figure it out. Add, open the bracket, and this one's going to be surname, and leave a space, add my plus, S surname, and put my semicolon. Then red output dot lines. Now this one is going to be a little different. Who can tell me why is it going to be different? Who knows? What type is grade? It is an, okay, it's a value, so it is an integer. Okay, can I display integers? No, I can't display integers, so I need to do a conversion. So I'm going to show you how to convert If I've got one type that cannot be displayed, I need to convert it to a format that can be displayed. Okay, so I have here, first I put my string for grade, and I say plus. Okay, now here, let's just start with our variable, put our variable in, and it was called iGrade. But if I try and run this program as is, it's going to give me an error. Okay, well, sorry, put caps locks on there. Okay, so now what I have, I know iGrades are different types, so I'm going to put it in its own little brackets. And then before that bracket, I'm going to do the conversion, int for integer to string. So int to string. So if you're not sure if it is string to int or int to string, you say to yourself, what do I have? I have an integer. What do I want? I want a string. So int to string. If I have a string that I need to convert to an integer to do a calculation, then I will go, so what do I have? I have a string to int. Yes. Oh, there, it was just, I hadn't put a space. No, it won't make a difference. It's just inside the string, the reason I put the space. Otherwise, everything's going to be squashed together and you can't read it clearly. Okay. Okay, and then don't forget your semicolon at the end. Okay, I want to show you quickly again what happens if I forget my semicolon. So red output, can you see immediately? Let's just say .lines.add. And I know lines.add is the correct one, but red output's giving me a problem. Then if the first word in the next sentence has a squiggle, okay, then you know that you have left out a semicolon on the previous line. Okay, that's one of the first hints for you. Okay, so red output.lines.add, open your bracket, and this is going to be S subject, sorry, just subject, sorry, subject that I'm displaying as a string, plus my variable is subject. Okay, make sure that you save. Okay, and if I press F9 or my little play button, my run button, then our program should work. Okay, so let's try. Mary Poppins is in, I can either type or I can use my spin edit. Okay, it's grade 10 and she takes IT. And if I click display, you will see on the right hand side in your rich edit, we have our information, name Mary, surname Poppins, grade 10, subject IT. Okay, you're all good with that? Okay, so you are now going to code that. I have sent you the code as a screenshot on Google Classroom, and I want you to try it out, save it for me, and then once you finished it, I want you to write your own program. You can pick any topic, you can put any labels, any edits, and you can decide what needs to be displayed. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to end the recording now, and then I will check the Zoom. I will keep going